What is up guys, Jarv here, back today jumping into Destiny. We are back with another This Week in Destiny, giving the full breakdown for the up and coming week. This week marks the first week of the final season of Destiny 2, Season of the Wish. We have a quick overview of some of the up and coming changes, a look at the featured raid challenge, the featured raid and dungeon content, a look at this week's exotic mission, an overview of the weekly rituals and the up and coming changes to the Crucible node. So be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below, and remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now another week and another This Week in Destiny. This week marks week 1 of season 23, and this is the last season for Destiny 2. In year 7, episodes will take over, and these will launch shortly after the conclusion of the final shape, which at this moment in time is still marked for a February release. Now Season of the Wish will see the launch of a brand new dungeon alongside the in-game Fireteam finder. You'll also see a mass amount of sandbox and ability changes, even be able to access your vaults from orbit, have a brand new Thorn Catalyst to earn, have new ways to earn Gunsmith engrams and a new ritual weapon. Dragon's Breath will return as the seasonal weapon for Season 23, alongside the return of Citadel as a PvP map. We'll have a new comp reward in the form of a Hake Strand pulse rifle, and as well as those, we see the first phase of the removal of legendary shards start next season, as well as changes to the up and coming Crucible nodes and a new PvP mode called Sparrow Control. On paper, there's a lot of things coming in Season 23, setting the foundations for when Final Shape eventually launches. What are you most excited for the up and coming season? Be sure to sound off down in the comments below. Now next up, we're going to move on to the featured Crota's End Raid Challenge for the first week of Season of the Wish, and this comes in the form of equal vessels. This can be found over at the Ute encounter, and to get this challenge done, all 6 players must rotate the Chalice of Light buff in the same order throughout the entire fight. Now the easiest way to do this challenge is to have a specific rotation planned ahead of the encounter, and once that rotation has been formulated, I recommend rotating that chalice through each player prior to the DPS phase. This will allow you to easily keep track of who needs the chalice and when, and once every player has had the chalice and you have enough enlightened guardians to complete the encounter, then the last guardian with the chalice can dunk that in the lower podium, allowing the team to focus on the mechanics and especially the DPS phase. All in all, it's a fairly straightforward raid challenge, and if you and your team can pull it off, there's an extra raid chest available and some sweet adept raid loot. Now next up, we're going to move on to the featured raid and dungeon content for the week. Now as with every season so far throughout year 6, Season of the Wish kicks off with the Last Wish as the featured raid. Now whenever a raid is featured, all the raid challenges are available and repeatable, which is perfect if you're still looking to finish some of the challenges to earn your Rivensbane seal, and on top of that, because they are repeatable, you can in fact farm the encounters for loot. Now all the weapons inside the Last Wish raid are now craftable and form some of the best weapons available in the game. So if you are still looking to earn weapon patterns for these incredible weapons, there is no time quite like the present to jump back into Last Wish and grind out those weapon patterns. But if you already have the weapon patterns, then another possible weapon to farm is the 1000 Voices exotic fusion rifle. This is the exclusive exotic available only in this raid, and you can earn this by opening chests after completing Queen's Walk. And the great thing about this is you can in fact farm Riven for keys, allowing you to open multiple chests upon completing the raid. It's the quickest and easiest way to earn the 1000 Voices, and a weapon well worth having when jumping into the new season. Now, as for the featured dungeon, Duality returns. Now Duality launched back in Season of the Haunted, and is in fact one of the best places to farm Artifice armor. Now the great thing about this armor is you get a free stat bonus, and if you intend on using the Transcendent Blessing mods when jumping into Season 23, which we made a detailed video about, and I highly recommend trying to get your hands on some of those, especially before the launch of the dungeon on the 1st of December, then Artifice armor is definitely well worth chasing. But if you have enough of that armor, you can farm Keitel either for weapons or even the Heart Shadow, which is the exclusive exotic sword only available from this dungeon. Now from here, we're going to move on to the featured exotic mission, and for week 1, this can be found over at Operation Seraph's Shield. Now this launched back in Season 19 in Season of the Seraph, and is the home to the Revision Zero exotic pulse rifle. This will be incredibly strong this season, as it's intrinsically an anti-barrier weapon. Now as well as the Revision Zero being craftable, you can also earn any of the weapons from Season of the Seraph throughout the course of this mission, and they have a chance to drop as a Deep Sight Resonance version of them. This includes the Disparity, Fire and Forget, the Ikelos Hand Cannon, the Ikelos Shotgun, the infamous Ikelos SMG, and the Ikelos Sniper Rifle. Alongside those, you have the Judgment of Kelgoroth, Path of Least Resistance, the Retrofit Escapade, and a Tripwire Canary. And if you already have God rolls on those weapons, you can also pick up the Warmind's Avatar armor set, which was the exclusive armor set throughout Season 19. Now from here, we're going to move on to Dares of Eternity and the 30th Anniversary Pack activity. And alongside the Scatterhorn armor set from Forsaken, we see the return of the Pathfinder armor set from Season of the Lost. This was the last major season that featured Mara Salv, and alongside that incredible armor, we also see the return of the Season of the Lost weapons. This includes the Fractathist, Chrysuria Mellow, Vulpecula, Wolftone Draw, Iota Draconis, Canis Major, alongside the Contingency Plan, Legal Action 2, Outrageous Fortune, Steel Sybil Z14, and the Spoiler Alert Sidearm. Now, all the weapons and armor can be earned throughout the course of the activity when you complete it, or by handing in strange coins over at the Star Horse over in the Treasure Hoard. And if there's any particular armor or weapons that you would love to see inside Dares, then be sure to sound off down in the comments below. Now from here, we're going to move on to the weekly rituals, and we have a new Nightfall and Grandmaster Nightfall for Season 23. This comes in the form of the Sarp's Battlegrounds based on the Cosmodrome. Now last season did see 3 heist battlegrounds form a key part of the Nightfall and Grandmaster Nightfall rotation. Could this season see the return of other PSYOP battlegrounds, as we have already had the PSYOP's battlegrounds over on the moon all the way back in Season of the Deep. Now, as well as a new Nightfall and eventually Grandmaster Nightfall, we also have a brand new ritual weapon. This is the game's first Void Caster Sword, and will be available from any of the 3 ritual vendors over in the tower. You'll be able to earn this via the Vanguard Ops playlist, Gambit, or even the Crucible. And each of the 3 vendors will also have a unique ornament available to this particular weapon. Now, as for the Nightfall exclusive rewards, these won't be known until the launch of Season of the Wish, but as soon as we have the rotation, we'll be sure to add that back into This Week in Destiny, starting in week 2 of Season of the Wish. Now from here, and moving over to the Crucible, in the Crucible featured rotators this week, which will be updated for Season 23, we see Checkmate Control alongside Rift and Elimination as the 3 featured modes. This is the very first time Checkmate Control has been available as its own particular mode outside of the Crucible Labs. And with some of the changes coming to the sandbox and ability changes coming to Season of the Wish, experiences inside PvE and PvP will feel very, very different. What are your hopes and expectations for Season 23? Be sure to sound off down in the comments below. So there we have it, guys, a good look on everything that you can expect for week 1 of Season of the Wish. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of the 2 videos you see here in these cards for more Destiny 2 content. And if you want to keep up to date with everything to do with Destiny 2, then be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to jump into the game as always, guys, and I will catch you all again very soon.